So I was looking on the NATO Lessons Learned Portal for some information, but I couldn't really find the right kind of data. There didn't seem to be enough of the right kind of lessons in there. But I was thinking, that can't be right. There must be more lessons in NATO. So where are they?
I think I know where they are. They are spread all over NATO.
Many consider making mistakes as a bad thing, but in actual fact what we need to realize is there's only one kind of mistake, and that's the kind of mistake that you don't learn from.
People are very reluctant in showing their weaknesses, but we have once and for all to get rid of that idea or that approach.
We often find ourselves talking about the ever-changing global security threat environment, and the truth of that is that our adversary is not going to wait for us to keep up.
You cannot believe that what was successful in the past or today will be also successful in the future. Therefore, we need to link the learning from the past with the actions in the present and with innovation in the future.
One of the problems we have with being the military member in an organization is that unfortunately we have to rotate at some point in time. And because of that, we lose our collective consciousness and our historical knowledge throughout an organization. So we need to be sharers.
Now, the NATO Lessons Learned Portal also functions as a gateway to the NATO Lessons Learned Process. What it manages to do is, instead of having all of the lessons, which is basically just the knowledge within NATO, separated throughout the whole of the organization, the portal allows us to capture it and collect it into one place. It all starts with a single observation.
We need to analyze observations in order to understand if they are potential lessons.
And that's when we need to take the observations and look at them and see whether they're actually what we would call lessons identified. So once a lesson has actually been identified, that needs to be endorsed. The lesson identifier is then tasked, that's to say that the right action body, the right piece of NATO is given the job of making the change. Once the change is set in motion and it's implemented, we need to monitor it and make sure that it's having an effect. If that's the case, then we've managed to validate the lesson identified and it becomes a lesson learned, and we can share it with the rest of the organization. The whole process actually leads to the transformation, the innovation and the improvement of the alliance. And everything's captured in the NATO Lessons Learned Portal, where we can all find it for future use.
These dedicated lessons learned communities of interest, people who are really interested in a very specific field, they can find this information. And it's a way for a small group of people spread over all the NATO community to get the information and to share.
In order to use the communities of interest, you need to be first a portal user. Then the communities of interest should have a sponsored organization that can be, for example, a center of excellence or another working group that is related to NATO.
Over the past 15 years, JALC has actually produced over 200 reports. Those are available on the JALC website and the Lessons Learned Portal. And that is the basis from which you can find a wealth of information in topics that JALC handles. So if you want a point to start, that's a great place to go.
If we use it correctly, it can actually save lives. Because if we help somebody to learn something, by doing that, if we save just one life, that's the best thing that we can say about the NATO Lesson Learned Portal and the Lesson Learned Process in general.
I didn't know you could get so much out of the portal.
Yes, but it's only as good as the data we put into it.
The NATO Lessons Learned Portal belongs to NATO. It belongs to you. It's your input that makes the portal work. So we're relying on you to help us help you.